Welcome back to day 9 of the men's 2020 Australian Open. In this video I'm going to be reviewing the two men's quarterfinals that took place yesterday. Kicking things off with tennis Sangren against Roger Federer. Obviously Sangren came to the tournament ranked 100, nobody expected him to get past the first couple of rounds. He's never made any major runs at Grand Slams before. He done brilliant to reach the fourth round and face Fabio Fognini. He beat the below par at Fabio Fognini in 4 sets. Closed that match out very well, served a high first serve percentage, hit a lot of winners on both sides. But when Noni was up against Roger Federer in the quarter final, then I certainly didn't give him a hope. I didn't think he'd win a set, to be honest. Sangren had exceeded expectations and beyond. But when you're great against Roger Federer in the business end of a Grand Slam, then you only expect to see one winner. In this match, as I say, I just didn't give him a chance really. I think he's had a good tournament. He's a solid all-round player, but I don't think he's anything special. I didn't think he had any huge weapon to really trouble Federer's game. I just felt he was too experienced to beat a player that's won 20 Grand Slam titles. Takes a great mentality. Obviously Roger's one of the best mentally in the business, and for Sangren to beat him tonight, I thought it was going to take either the performance of his life or a very, very below par performance from Roger Federer. As for Federer, he obviously hasn't been playing his best tennis at all. This last week, he's to give away the opening set in the last 2 matches against Millman and Fucsovic. And I said for Federer at the start of the week, for him to have a chance of beating the likes of Djokovic and Nadal, that he would have to breeze through to the semi-final and not spend too much time out on court, and really start timing the ball and serving well as the week progressed. But unfortunately for him, he hasn't really done that. He hasn't been playing well at all, in my opinion, and he's lucky to be in the semi-final draw. But he is, so we'll find out what happens when facing the likes of Djokovic and Nadal, whether his game will improve. We'll obviously have to. I said yesterday in my preview that I expected Federer to come out fast. Obviously hasn't started well in the last 2 rounds. I expected him to change that, really come out and time the ball well, improve that first serve that he relies on so much now at his age that he is. And that first set followed the script really. Federer was finding his first serve, he was desperately searching for. He got the quick start he wanted, and it looked like an easy night's work really. Sangren was just making too many errors. His game wasn't particularly troubling Federer at all on serve or on return. He wasn't imposing enough, and his serve wasn't consistent. He was serving less than 50% of first serve, which was allowing Federer to get on his backhand return and really take control of the rallies very quickly and easily. But then, as I thought the match was over really, I thought Federer was about to cruise for a straight set win and set up a clash with Djokovic likely in the semi-final. The second set was the exact opposite to the first. Sangren started making first serves, he hit over 70%, he was hitting aces, and just getting that serve in was allowing him to dictate rallies. It was allowing him to attack the court, really take the match to Federer and take him on, really fight fire with fire. He was finding forehands down the line consistently, which Federer was struggling to get to. Federer's footwork hasn't looked at all good this tournament. He doesn't seem to be reading the ball particularly well. He does seem to be slowing down just as the tournament progresses really. I don't really see Federer improving too much. He started the week well, but as the tournament's gone on, I do think his performances have got increasingly worse. Federer just started missing his first serve, and as I say, he relies on that so much to set up points, to construct points, and Sangren could attack that second serve. His second serve didn't look great at all last night, Federer. He started to make a hell of a lot of unforced errors, and Sangren was putting constant pressure on him. He was just very untidy, Federer, very uncharacteristic like for Federer, missing routine shots by a mile. In the second and third set, I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible. The second and third set was very worrying for Federer. I thought Sangren just dominated, particularly on the long points. I did think pre-match that the longer the points went on, the more Federer could dictate. We know he can switch up the pace very well. He's got a lot of different things in his arsenal as Federer, but it wasn't the case. Sangren was really hitting the ball clean. He was really timing it. You could see he had massive confidence in himself. And Federer was just playing the balls too short. He was allowing Sangren to come in and really attack him. And Federer just couldn't really deal with Sangren's power. So Sangren did actually take a 2-1 lead and become favourite in the match. And it's anyone's guess who was going to win the match at that point. Obviously, you would still probably make it Federer. Federer fans would still fancy him to get through that one and come back in 5, but Sangren just looked like he had all the momentum behind him. The crowd was starting to enjoy the Americans' play, and it was really a toss-up at that point who would win it. Long story short, I have not a clue how Sangren did not win this match. In the 4th set, he done everything right, apart from on match point really. He hit 10 aces in the 4th set alone. Hit 32 winners in a single set. He had match points during the set, which Federer managed to fight off on serve to force a tie break, and then Sangren just played the most amazing tie break. Went under obviously huge pressure. He's facing Roger Federer on Rod Laver Arena in the biggest match for his career. I did expect Federer to get out of jail and win that tie break, but when Sangren led 6-3, obviously 3 match points, it was quite incredible how he didn't win it when he was striking the ball as he was. I think the occasion just got to him. I mean, many people are praising Roger on this amazing comeback, and yes, it was. Roger did play his part in this comeback, but it's Sangren's the man to blame here. How he didn't win one of their match points is beyond me really. I just think he was too passive, he was too negative, and it's obviously easy as fans to sit here at home and say what he should have done, what he could have done, but when he was striking the ball that well, he was hitting clean winner after clean winner. At 6-3, had freedom in that tie break. He had room for error. He had a couple of points where he could have just redlined the ball. Federer wasn't playing it all well. He was hitting the short ball a number of times, even a match point, and Sangren was just so reluctant to come in. He was so reluctant to look for the lines, almost waiting for Federer to make an error. And Federer just didn't make that error. He managed to fight back to 6-6. Sangren created another match point opportunity. He had a backhand volley at the net that he should have put away and secured the 4-set win, but he was too negative again, and Federer put him under pressure to force another error. And then as soon as Federer turned the match around, he created that set point chance and took it straight away, as Roger Federer always does. And that's just the difference at this level. That's why Federer's won 20 Grand Slams and Sangren probably won't ever win one. It's no point creating the opportunities if you don't take them, and you've got to take match points, especially if you have 7 of them. How Sangren didn't come through that 4th set, I will never ever know. He was just relentless. He just played outrageous tennis, and unfortunately just didn't quite get over the line. And I'm sure he's the most gutted man in the world about it. But that's life. That's what happens. He just, in the final set, Federer, he saw the winning line. He took an early break. Obviously, the momentum was with him after that. I think Sangren's probably sat in his seat after that 4th set, thinking, well, if I can't win with 7 match points, I'm never going to win this match now. And Federer, he saw the blood and he took it. He really gained momentum early with that early break. The crowd really got back on his side. There was a huge momentum shift. I think Sangren felt defeated. He still played his part. He fought hard in that 5th set, but I think the writing was on the wall after that 4th set really, and Federer did win it 6-3. Looking ahead for Federer in this tournament, he's obviously up against Novak Djokovic next, and I don't really give him any hope whatsoever in this match. I think he'd be lucky to win a set with the way he's playing. When you consider how poorly Federer's footwork looks, how poorly he's timing the ball, particularly at the start of the match. His serve's not looking good at all. He didn't serve a single ace in that 4th set, and when you look at the way Djokovic is performing and the way he's serving, I think it's going to be very difficult for Federer to compete in that one. But moving on to Djokovic against Milos Raonic. Raonic obviously came into this tournament without a lot of expectation on his back. He'd had a poor 2019, partly down to injuries and just a lack of form. He hadn't made any major runs in slams, and not many people predicted much of Raonic. If he get past the first few rounds, maybe give a good battle to Tsitsipas, and it would have been a successful tournament for Milos, but he's went further than that. He beat Stefanos Tsitsipas and Marin Cilic, 2 massive wins for the Canadian hard courts. We all know how dangerous he can be. He's got that huge weapon of a serve, huge forehand, but it always looked like it was going to be a step too far against an imperious Djokovic. Djokovic looks just unstoppable really so far this tournament, and it's going to take a performance of a lifetime from somebody, I think, to stop him. And the match followed the script really. In the opening set, Djokovic was dominating on serve. Raonic couldn't really get a look in. Djokovic again serving a lot of first serve points, and really taking control early in the rallies, moving Raonic side to side. We all know Raonic isn't the quickest player, and Djokovic recognises that. He had a 9-0 record against Raonic coming into this match. Hugely confident, huge favourite, and with the backing of the Melbourne crowd, obviously a huge fan favourite there after winning 7 Australian Open titles. And it was a case of when Djokovic managed to get that break, when he managed to take one of them breakpoint opportunities, and that did happen. He played the most incredible game at 5-4 up to take that set 6-4. He created a number of breakpoint opportunities, but Raonic just kept finding his big serve. All credit to Raonic, he fought very hard. He produced his biggest serves. It set point down a number of times, but Djokovic eventually just creating constant pressure. Every return was landing near the baseline of Raonic, and it was this relentless return, and just quite incredible to watch really. I said on Twitter that most players in the world wouldn't even get a racket on them Raonic serves, and Djokovic was returning serves of over 130 mile an hour under the Raonic baseline. And it's what you can do against that. The pressure that puts you under is immense, and the pressure did tell. Djokovic took that set 6-4 in the end. I think the writing was on the wall from then really. Djokovic played another brilliant return game to break him early in the second set, and again just held serve comfortably. He was serving fantastic today. Djokovic really attacking Raonic with the second shot in the rally, moving him side to side, forehand, backhand, drop shot, everything looked in full flow, and there looked to be no troubles for Djokovic in this match. I think you could see from early on it was going to be a straight sets win. The third set, Raonic did play very well actually. He got into Djokovic's service games a little bit more. I think he knew to have any chance in the match at his gamble. He really started trying to attack Djokovic off the return. He was trying to hit a big ball early in the rallies, and he was finding the lines a lot of the time. Thankfully Djokovic serves still brilliant in that third set. I think he faced one break point and saved it. But he's just so hard to beat at the minute. Djokovic, he's barely making an unforced error. As I say, he's serving brilliantly. His return game's on point. There's just no jinx on his armour at the minute for you to exploit in his game. Djokovic had issues in the fourth set with his contact lenses. He had to go for a medical timeout, and he came back, and Raonic looked for a minute that he was going to maybe nick the third set, but Djokovic managed to fight on and get to a tie break. And then, as we know now, Djokovic just doesn't seem to lose tie breaks in Grand Slam big matches. He's as the years have progressed, he's learned to really produce his best tennis at the bigger stages and matches. And although Djokovic didn't play his outstanding best in that third set, watch his tie break. If you're going and wanting to be a tennis player, watch that third set tie break and how well Djokovic played. He didn't make one unforced error. He was aggressive. He served brilliant. He returned brilliant, and he just done everything that you need to do. He played the perfect tie break. He knew how important it was. With his eye trouble, and he didn't want to get to a fourth and fifth set, spend loads of time on court against a big serve against Raonic, and obviously get very frustrating when he's hitting ace after ace. But it wasn't to be the case. Djokovic wrapped up a 3-0 victory, fully deserved, and he marches on to face Federer in the semi-final. As I just touched on, I think if Djokovic turns up in that one at 70-80%, then he's going to cruise through that. I can't make a case of Federer at all. I know it's Roger Federer, you can never really write him off, but when you consider Federer's played poorly all tournament, got out of jail against average players. I mean, he's scraping past the likes of Millman and Sangren, and now he's up against Novak Djokovic, who's just a million miles above them sort of players, and he's in the form of his life. So, and you consider Federer's had a groin injury last night. He spent over 7 hours on court. It's very difficult to even make a case for Federer to win a set in that one. But you never know. It's a 50th meeting of the pair, and I can't wait for the match on Thursday. So that's it for that. 15 minutes reviewing 2 matches. They must have been good. But I'll be back to preview the Dominic Thiem and Rafael Nadal match, which is happening tomorrow, and also the Stanislav Wawrinka against Alex Zverev. Two very competitive and fantastic matches potentially there. So thanks for watching again. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later on. Thanks again.